All right, whenever you guys are ready.
All right. Okay. I'm Lindsey Cummins.
I'm Lucas Keown.
And we curated a show here at Carbon Copy called Papertrail. And it's primarily a print and zine show, but our only stipulation was that it is work on paper. And our kind of highlight of the show is our Printed Zine Atrium, which features over 250 zines from all over the world. So Papertrail's like origin story, I guess, is Lucas is a printmaker and has been a printmaker in Louisville for a long time. So we kind of coupled that with, I guess, my skill set in curating, and we combine those things to basically make a show and to leverage what we already had, which was a bunch of zines from the Printed Zine Project archive. So we were sort of like, we have all these zines, what do we do with them? How do we get people to see them? And so our solution to that was to hang them up. The name of the show, Papertrail, I actually have to give credit to Claire Kruger, who is a local Louisville artist and zine maker and is part of the Printed Zine Project team, because Claire thought of the name Pay-Per-View for a zine fest, and then I was like, okay, you know what would also be really cool is something called Papertrail, because I felt like it did a good job of describing, one, the kind of only rule that we had for the show, which was that the work interacted with paper in some way, and then also the trail piece just being that I think the one other theme to the show is that we wanted the work to in some way speak to connection and community and just different creative voices talking. So that's kind of, I think, how we landed on Papertrail as a name. We reached out to Shohei Katayama, who's the artist who runs this amazing project space.
Yep.
And so we knew we wanted to do a show, but we weren't like 100% sure what we wanted to do, but we just knew that this was like a really cool space. And so we talked with Shohei and decided that we would use the Printed Zine Project archive to show all of our zines, and then I think later decided that we would pair it with print work from not just artists in the community, but also artists outside of the community. So we have artists from Florida, from Missouri, from New York, alongside Louisville artists, which was important to us that we kind of bridge the gap. That's something that we want to do with Printed Zine Project, is to connect different regions and get people talking and interacting with each other creatively.
I feel like the relationship between the prints and the zines made a nice little conversation, because generally in the print world you don't have a lot of gallery opportunities and the same type of opportunities as you would in, say, like the painting or drawing world. So that kind of coupled up with the whole zine installation, just to give a nice spotlight on a community that's not really represented very much.
One thing that we wanted to tackle with the show that we've been trying to tackle with Printed Zine Project for a while is how do we make the art world a place that's maybe a little bit more inclusive, or a place where people feel like they're welcome, or I don't know.
Yeah.
In everything we do, this show, Printed, it's like how do we
open it up?
Yeah, widen the net a little bit.
Definitely.
zines can be anything. I think we get the question a lot, like, what is a zine? And it's like so fun and also hard to answer because zines are whatever you want them to be, really.
That's what's so great about it. I mean, you have this huge range of different processes for, I mean, really, like, just small books that don't really cost too much. They are limited quantity, and I lost it there.
Zines have taken many forms over the years, and instead of kind of like shifting out of one form into another, they've just become all the things. So artists make zines to show their art. Some zines are just written text only, and they kind of read like books, and some zines are just image based only, so they can really be anything, which I think is what I guess attracts me to them. I also think that zines are so special to me personally, at least because I really enjoy the way that zines kind of give people like platform to like engage in like really personal conversations. A lot of zines are just like, here are pictures of, like, Lucas has a zine and it's just drawings of his friend's cats. Or I don't know, I think a lot of zines are just people kind of like giving their own very personal, intimate perspective on something, or just kind of being silly.
And I think like part of it too that's interesting is I've talked about it many times before, but just like the range of processes that people use in zines that's not normally seen out in the world. Like, nobody's really looking at like etchings or screen prints or even really block prints unless they go to an art show or from the printmaking world. So it's nice to see that type of work actually out in the community.
Papertrail is located at 1212 South 4th Street in Louisville, Kentucky at Carbon Copy Gallery, and it will be up from now, which I don't know what today's date is, but it's like March 28th or something, until the end of April. So we will have a closing reception on April 29th that I hope everybody can come out to.
Okay.
Printed Zine Project.